Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Another Thank God It's Tuesday, coming to you a little bit later in the day than normal, but we're still here coming to you. You know, last week, if you remember, we talked about growing, right? We talked about management, then it went to leadership. Now we think the way things are going in business is servanthood. We talk about growth, what you can do to grow. It's such a critical thing. So here's what I want you to look at this morning. Well, it's actually this afternoon. I want you to think about your environment. Now if you heard me speak before, we've talked about environments. I've even given you stories about my environment when I was a little guy. Okay, as I was, you know, in my house in an environment that may not have been conducive for me, in my opinion. But again, when you look at your environment now as an adult or in your workforce, or maybe even you, if you're watching this video and you're in high school, if you look at your environment, you're gonna have to assess this environment thing. So here's what I wanna tell you. Let's just assume, for argument's sake, we're talking business, okay? Let's talk about your environment. The first thing you gotta do when you got an environment and you're looking to get better, you're looking to grow, is you wanna talk about, you have to assess your current environment. You wanna talk about why you should change. I mean, you really need to find out, should I change? Am I in a good situation right now and don't even realize it? Should I be grateful for what I have and I don't even know it? So one of the things that I would say to you is just analyze, why do you think you should change? Did you climb to the top too fast? Maybe you don't feel like you're challenged anymore. Maybe you feel bored. I've been there before, where you just feel like, man, you're not getting as much as you can get out of life. You want more out of life. You got to look at that. Maybe you're in an organization where there's nowhere else to go. I'm as high as I can go. So those are the things you got to look and assess whether you're ready to move forward. But I will tell you this: if you're going to change your environment, don't change your environment and not change yourself. Let me say it one more time. Don't just change the environment and not yourself. Because if you change yourself and not the environment, the change will be difficult. And you'll have some success, but it'll take longer. If you don't change yourself, but you change your environment, the same exact thing is going to happen. But if you change yourself and you also change your environment, you give yourself the best opportunity to get better with that whole situation. So I want to tell you real quick about the poker principle. You know, if you just think to yourself, how do you get a poker hot, right? If you think about that, well, you put it in the fire, right? Well, the bottom line is, if you take a metal poker, okay, and you're looking to get it hot, you put it in a fire. Same thing with yourself. If you're in a cold environment and you're not hot, you're not growing. You got to find environments that are good for you to grow. You want to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. That's what Eric Thomas always says. I love it. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So here's what I'll tell you. If you are going to grow, if you're truly going to grow, you got to look at three things. You got to look at the right soil. You got to have the right soil to nourish you. That's the only way you can have growth. You got to look at the right air, right? Air keeps you alive. That gives you the purpose, right? That's why you're alive. The last thing you got to really consider is you got to find out the right climate, because obviously if you have the right climate, that's going to sustain the soil and the air to keep you from growing and keeping your purpose alive. And to sustain, to keep it going, you got to have the right people. So again, if you think about this Tuesday, we're still talking about growth. Last week we talked about growth. Should I grow? Is it time to grow? When I do grow, it's not as easy as I thought it was. Now we're going this week, we're talking about the environment of your growth. So we're building week after week for something that you can take part and you can look and see if there's an opportunity for you. And I will tell you, don't let the environment dictate or the circumstances dictate where you want to be. Thank God it's Tuesday. Some more good information. I hope you're inspired. I hope you've gotten something out of this, and we'll see you next Tuesday.